this little guy, I don't know if you just caught him trotting away. So when I was in the beginning of my journey, there was a time when I was all frustrated. I was on the highway ranting to you guys. I was ranting because I was angry. I was angry about finding out about the lies, and then I was angry because I was like, I'm supposed to let go of the physical. Didn't really understand what that meant at the time, and I was ranting because there was still things I wanted here. And then a car goes by with the license plate that said "Seize the Day." Okay, guys, this is just perfect example. So I'm sitting here, I'm talking, I'm having a frank conversation, one-sided conversation, I thought, with Source and the universe. And I said, all right, universe, if our time here is limited, I want what I wanted before I knew Flat Earth. I want to enjoy life while we're here. And because I feel that we've been shortchanged, ripped off, lied to, and deprived of the life that we should have had, that we were led to believe that we were supposed to have while we're here. So anyway, I had not finished saying this. Then no sooner had I finished saying this than this car says, can you see that? Seize the Day is the license plate on the car. Pulls up in front of me. Seize the day. Seize that day. So, okay. Now it is 2023, and I had let go of everything. I had let go of all my ambitions, all my desires, all the things that I thought that I wanted here. Let it all go. I didn't want anything. Then I am shown what I can have. It says, do you want this? I'm like, sure, that looks nice. I'll have that. You know, it's kind of bizarre to me that you go from wanting all that stuff through ambition and through the hard work of, you know, labor and toil and manual making it happen, and it doesn't work because you don't understand how this world works. Excuse my cat here. But then you go through the phase of relinquishing all your desires because you think that's what you're supposed to do because, ooh, the physical is evil. And then you get to the stage where it's like, oh, you let go of everything. Everything's gone. And then you're told, oh, you know, you can have this if you want it. And it's kind of confounding. It's kind of confusing. But I understand what it's all about. So that's kind of what this video is about. Today's been a weird day. Initially, the plan was to talk about my flat earth experience because that's really what set it all off. But universe had other plans for me, so I focused on what was going on with me. I'm in a bad mood. This happens. I'm in a bad mood, and I'm supposed to make a video that's upbeat so that people who want to watch Vlogmas and get all happy because it's Christmas time can watch it. And a lot of it had to do with my own ideas of, you know, how I need to present myself, which is something that was a major focus of my life growing up, on, you know, how you present yourself. But, you know, if we're trying to keep it real here, if we're trying to show what it's like to go through this process. There's going to be purging issues, energetic problems, and upsets. So I'm having one of those right now. But really, really, all you have to be is yourself. And we're very, hopefully, very complex people. Not just, one-dimensional characters who are only about one thing, which a lot of, social media tends to project. Now, granted, these people are not likely to do something as stupid as I'm doing right now and show their pissed off moments, their angry moments, the moments where they are experiencing the junk. And when I think about this sort of thing, I think about social media because the, lifestyle vloggers or the influencers, they tend to, the way they market themselves is that they have to pick a niche, and that's what they focus on, which is, your brand. So my point is that there's these influencers who sort of sculpt their image and they stay true to that image, and every episode is pretty much the same. They show snippets of their lives. It's all very superficial, which is fine. It's kind of escapism. It's just not real. It's not real enough. And you can tell because they focus on crafting this story of what their lives, or what they want their lives to look like. So it's like they film themselves getting out of bed in the morning. Well, you know that they got out of bed to set up the camera so that they could film themselves getting out of bed. So it's not really legitimate. If they had what I do, roll over, pick up the phone, and film myself literally rolling out of bed, it's not as flattering, it's not as romantic, it's not as cinematic, but it's real. It would be literally me picking up my phone, pressing record, and rolling out of bed. And, that's not something that I care to share on the internet. If you are going through the ascension process or rising into Christ consciousness, there's a kind of misconception that you're supposed to be happy all the time. You're supposed to be in bliss all the time. You're supposed to be, loving all the time. You never have a bad day. You never get upset at anybody. Well, if that's possible, great. That'd be nice. I'm not there yet, obviously. I want something richer, something deeper, something more meaningful. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what your beliefs are. Tell me how you see the world. Tell me what's important to you, what you value. And not just about your specific niche. Who are you? Deep down, who are you? On one hand, it's embarrassing to feel like this. I personally even have that expectation that, oh, I've been through this entire journey. Shouldn't I feel better about life? Shouldn't I be persistently in this zone? Which is a stupid expectation. It's not realistic. If, initially when I thought about doing Vlogmas, I thought, well, it might be kind of fun to get a little creative and go out and film myself doing stuff. But First of all, I don't do anything. Second, I'm not of that age that it's interesting to me. I would basically what I'm doing now. I just want to be somebody going through this experience, sharing my experiences in hopes that it helps somebody with theirs. That's it. For me, it's more interesting to share some of the things that I'm experiencing, some of the things I'm going through, because this ascension process is all mental. So show me, say, going to the gym or going to Starbucks or wherever I happen to go, the bookstore or something. Sure, that might be visually interesting, but what is more satisfying for someone like me anyway, is some sort of emotional or psychological experience that I'm going through that I have to deal with, because that's what we're going through. It's all a mental and emotional process, because it's relatable and it makes me feel less alone. Makes me feel like I'm not a failure because I'm having a bad day. I'm not a failure because I'm experiencing something that's very human. And that doesn't require fancy camera work. It doesn't require, fancy settings or backdrops. We're going through this in different locations, and some people are on a farm and don't go anywhere and don't do anything, or in the suburbs, or even major cities, and they don't feel comfortable going out talking about it. It's weird. It's really weird carrying a phone, talking to a phone in public. Like I said, I used to do it because I had to. I needed to speak, and the only opportunity I had to speak was when I was out for my walks or going for a run or something, because I didn't have a lot of privacy, or I was in my car. And I liked watching other YouTubers who were going through the same thing, who used to just sit in the park and talk. As I'm talking about it, as I'm going through sorting out all of this, I'm feeling much better. But yeah, this is probably one of the last days I have that's warm-ish to do this, because my hand is cold. I'm rambling and I'm cold, so time for me to go back home. The whole point is to feel better. It's not about looking better. It's looking better is an outside-in solution. Feeling better is an inside-out solution. It's actually a really good example of how to get through hard moments, but also having to live up to illusory expectations of yourself, and what you think others have of you, that you don't even know what kind of expectations other people have of you, kind of making assumptions. I'm so glad that I could find a solution to it. And obviously it was gnawing at me, because I needed to deal with it. In my little flyaways, I needed to deal with it. And I tried dealing with it a few ways. Like last night, tried talking about it, tried venting. That didn't work. I wasn't allowed to. I got interrupted a couple of times, and I didn't get much sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I just want to go to bed. But I need some exercise and some fresh air, and it's beautiful out here. It's 7 degrees. And yesterday it was cold, it was snowy. But today is really nice and sunny. There's a little bit of sunshine, which is really nice. And so yeah, I just felt like, yes, diamond cage. So I just felt like I wasn't sure how the day was going to go, because I was in such a bad mood. But it just goes to show me that, again, I guess in a way it's kind of street theater, but it's also a manifestation showing me the way of what I need to deal with, what I need to look at or follow. I put one of my YouTubers on, and the first thing that came out of her mouth was, the Wi-Fi's back up. I was having problems all week about my Wi-Fi, and before that I was having issues with the plumbing, so things were clogged. The connection was spotty. So the first thing that I hear when I turn on YouTube is that the Wi-Fi's back up. To me, signifies that I cleared the connection and my connection's back up. So this is good news. The universe is telling me right away that I fixed the problem. Which here is a prime example to me of how you work with the physical. Because a lot of people want to ignore the physical. They think the physical is satanic or evil or whatever. It's just an extension of you. So if you're going to ignore the physical is going to get your attention because it's there to give you a message. So if you're going to ignore it, it's just going to get louder and louder and louder. And one of the comments in the Tiffany Gomez series was, well, what if we just ignored Tiffany? Would she just go away? She wouldn't go away. Either she would get louder and louder, or somebody else would pop up and do her job for her, because she's a manifestation of consciousness. So this is something that we have to pay attention to, because it's a message to us about what's happening in our subconscious, or what's happening within us, and she's there to tell us what's going on. So in some cases it's a warning, in some cases it's a celebration, in some cases it's just a story. It's just telling us what's happening. There's nothing to be worried about. So if you know how to read it, though, you see what is really going on beneath the surface. Yeah, it's kind of just paying attention to the physical, finding out what it's trying to tell you. And with all the other symbols that were going on in my reality at the time, I was having a clogged sink, Wi-Fi was not working, it was spotty connection, but also I was having all of this nastiness rise to the surface, which is what happened with my sink. My sink was clogged, so I used a plunger, and then all this nastiness came to the surface. So, I was trying to unclog the sink in my life. I was trying to make the connection to my higher self, so to speak, or literally actually, and it was telling me my connection is clogged, so I needed to unclog the sink. So sink unclogged, Wi-Fi's back up, the connection is made, everything's good, I feel better now, and I'll see you tomorrow.